days to Bondi Beach. This normally quiet seaside resort is a hive of activity as the backup crews, officials, support boats and of course the paddlers ready themselves for what many have described as a trip of madness. At 58 years of age, Dave Roberts of Freshwater is the veteran. Just 3 years his junior is Tawoon Bay's Jim Ballard. And 31-year-old Victorian from Woolamai Beach, Mary Corney, has the male chauvinist smiling. 2 years ago, this man, Chris Bond from the Entrance Club, came in second in the first challenge. This year, he's the hot favourite.
Mate, you told me 2 years ago that was the last time.
Yeah, and I'll probably tell you on Saturday at Bondi that's the last time, but you'll see me again in '86.
Challenge organiser Murray Braun, a multinational Australian world champ, is confident.
Fantastic. The electric atmosphere around here has to be felt to be believed. We have 65 competitors, including one lady, ready to head off on the longest ocean paddling race in the world, and we are all very highly keyed.
At 6 a.m, referee Greg Jarmain asked the question,
"Is everybody right?"
And the 84 challenge is underway.
Best of luck. Out from Forster, it's Bond who sets the pace. The sea is smooth with the swell running behind the paddlers. Byron Bay's Max Abbott looks good. Mary Corney seems to be doing it easily, although already back from the pack. The field is well spread out over a 15-kilometre distance. The first leg is 45 kilometres with a 10-minute breather at Seal Rocks. Cold wind has sprung up. Officials waiting at the checkpoints are concerned.
I'll tell you what, I'm very concerned. I think they're pushing this pace far too hard. For the second half of this leg, they're going to be really straining it. But we can't tell them to slow down.
As the first paddler, Chris Bond, checks in, he looks fresh.
That's the time you leave.
Okay. We're going 8:52.
Followed by Max Abbott, who's not so fresh. With Wanda Beach's Billy Prestige third. As the leading bunch head off to Hawk's Nest, some 40 kilometres away, Braun hands out warnings. He's been down this road before.
Are you cold? No. Oh, this second leg, though, I think you're going to feel it cold. You've got something to put on as well as that?
Yeah. For some, it's too late. Russell Green from Noosa Heads is the first to fall from hypothermia or exposure from the cold. The medics have no other choice than to rule him out. Still, the drama mounts as the rubber ducky crews pluck another two from the sea and quickly rush them to the beach for help.
Seconds that belong to John Moore, boys, and the other one.
For 58-year-old Dave Roberts, the cold and old father time have caught up.
It's a terrible wind, battling its top all the way through a side wind. It's terribly cold too.
Has that been the main problem, the cold?
Yes, cold and the wind, yes.
As we head to Hawk's Nest, the ocean's watchdogs appear to be giving us a warning. Already, 8 paddlers are out. As feared, the wind gathers strength. And out front, the lead has changed. The wily Max Abbott has used all his cunning and hugged the coast to take the lead from Bond, who stayed out wide and took the full force of the wind head on. Prestige has clung on to third place. On the beach, an exhausted Bond resembles a zombie.
Oh, I'm just tired, mate. Everybody will feel the same, I think. It's going into that headwind. It's a very strong one, and the skis can't move sort of smoothly. They're just going up and down in the chop.
But out to sea, all hell is about to break loose. The rest of the paddlers are caught in a howling storm. The lifesavers spring into action, led by former Australian champion John Donoghue on board this mothership Cloud 9. He orders the rubber ducks to herd the fleet ashore, fearful that some 25 or so have already been blown out to sea and are in danger of their lives. The task of accounting for all of the competitors in these conditions is indeed a daunting one. The Channel 9 chopper is flung into the rescue to bring in the worst cases. Steve Parsons, a 23-year-old from Bateman's Bay, was lucky to survive.
Hey, can you hear me? What's your name? How do you feel? What do you feel, sick or cold or both? A bit of both, okay. Hey, you're suffering seasickness and a bit of hypothermia. What we're going to do is we're going to get you into the helicopter and take you down to Hawk's Nest from the doctor, okay?
Well, this afternoon, the 1984 Pi Australian Surf Ski Challenge presented one of the greatest challenges to surf life-saving rescue that this country's seen in a long, long time. The ski paddlers were trapped out to sea in a gale that was blowing in excess of 32 knots. 12 rubber duckies, crewed by experienced lifesavers that patrol beaches in your area each and every weekend, swung into action. John Donoghue, a former surf champion, was in the mothership directing the traffic. Murray Braun, the race organiser, was flown to the scene in a helicopter by Channel 9, and it was just an amazing scene.
Darryl, 1 hour ago, we had a very frightening situation. We had all the ingredients for a tragedy, but it was the perseverance and the tenacity of the competitors, their common sense and their training that allowed this event to survive for the second day.
But the real heroes of the day have been the Rubber Ducky Brigade. And the paddlers show their appreciation. All over the hall, groups of competitors swap yarns of the day's drama. For some, it's time just to reflect. Day 2 from Hawk's Nest to Merriweather Beach, Newcastle. A distance of some 80 kilometres. The workers have been at it long before sunup. Greg Jarmain explains the day's paddle. The field is sent off at staggered intervals, designed to keep them bunched in the case of another big blow. The ocean's watchdogs are still with us.
Don't need a reason to have you around, but each time you walk away, don't be surprised if I ask you to stay. Can't sleep alone at night, I just can't seem to get it right. Damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't, but I love you. I said I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't, 'cause I love you.
With 2 hours out, that lousy wind has blown up again. Jarmain takes the necessary safety precautions.
It was decided that rather than head them down and risk them blowing out to sea again, that we'd keep them in close contact with the land in a section where there were relatively high headlands, and we're doing a circuit in there so that we can keep an eye on them safety-wise.
3 to go, Jim. Can you do it?
Rightio.
Keep going. Come on.
Bond regains the lead. This day, he looks better. A rest in the turbo tub does the trick for the paddlers as the roadshow goes on to Merriweather. For many, the break from the sea is welcome. Early leader Max Abbott is out. His arms just won't work anymore. The solo man looks a little stuck up. And another 8 are ruled out. Avoca's Quentin Riley. His hands not only hurt, but have changed colour.
A new pair of gloves on.
As the ever-present medical team try everything they know and more to keep... The new day dawns clear, and for the first time since the challenge commenced, little wind. A small shore break proves to be a headache for some as they try to keep the day's food supply dry. Courage comes in many forms. Wombrel paddler Peter Reynolds stayed out in the water the day before despite frightful pain to keep his mate in the event.
He had 2 laps to go, young Nathan Steele, and he'd run out of water a few laps before that and he was feeling a bit dizzy. We picked up a bit of water off one of the rubber duckies and I just thought I'd stick with him, and he wasn't keen on doing the last lap by himself, so I went an extra lap to stay with him.
But it's the leader, Chris Bond, that has the beach buzzing. With only minutes to go, he hasn't arrived. Then, as cool as you like, the champ's ready.
Better late than never, I suppose, Darryl.
Getting a bit casual, mate.
Had a good sleep.
With no further hitches, the battle continues in the best possible conditions. Another 10-minute stop at Lakes Beach, about 90 k's out from Sydney by road. And a new hero emerges. Remember Quentin Riley the night before? In a remarkable recovery, he leads the group onto the beach.
Only had about 3.5 minutes break in 8 hours, apart from the 10-minute compulsory break. I just wanted to show that I can do it if I didn't have this problem that I've had for the last 2 days.
I can't believe the recovery in 12 hours. You nearly threw it in last night, now you're first here today.
So I told you the way I solved it was to just go for it, and the pain went away.
But it's the relentless Bond that still leads the race. 55-year-old Jim Ballard is still there. And to the dismay of the chauvinist, so is Mary Corney. Another great performance has come from Chris Gunn, the 19-year-old from Soldiers Beach. He has revelled in the calmer conditions. Rubber duck chief Harry Brown relaxes, thankful there is only one more day to Bondi. Spirits are high at Avoca, another good-looking day for the final leg. Bond says he won't chase the field to finish on the beach first.
Mate, it doesn't bother me if those second and third guys, Prestige and Gunny, are in front of me, but I'll keep them in my sights.
Indian-born, Bondi-raised, Mangla Mansumi is still the group's entertainer.
Man, I love it, man. I'm going to go out to see the Bondi Sewer. Bondi, here I come.
Just 4 kilometres out from Bondi, the impossible has happened. Bond has powered, caught and passed the pack, contrary to what he said 7 hours ago. A great win for the fellow that's been dogged by bad luck during his surf career. Another super effort from Bill Prestige, who takes second, with a brilliant youngster Chris Gunn third. Mary Corney and the old man of the sea, Jim Ballard, finished together.
Beautiful.
Remember this fellow, Steve Parson. Rushed to the medics near death. He's still far from good, but he did make it to Bondi. For the last one home, just the same welcome as the winner. The 12 ducks and the mothership pay tribute. And the ducks cut loose, and Harry struts his stuff. For Bond, his prize is not the mega dollars that the world's superstars earn for similar feats. Just another surf ski of all things.
That is the ski you must compete on in 1986.
For everyone else, the satisfaction of taking on and beating Mother Nature on her home ground and finishing the world's longest ocean paddle, the Pi Australian Surf Ski Challenge.
Touch the water and dash a swamp for anything, I'll tell you. Still on motorcycles, and the Australian...
Many have collapsed from exhaustion. By dawn on day 2, 13 starters have bitten the dust. 58-year-old Dave Roberts is out, but 55-year-old Jim Ballard from Toowon Bay in New South Wales is still going strong.
Yeah, once I get out of the water, I feel better, and the hardest part is getting out of bed.
Do you reckon, are you worried about the conditions?
Oh, if they crop up later in the day, I mean, now it looks terrific, but later in the day, yeah, if it was like yesterday, it's a hell of a strain. Do you
think you'll make it all the same?
Gather round rather than me. Die in an attempt.
So's the only woman in the field, Mary Corney, 32, from Melbourne. She's looking good after being among a group ordered to the beach after 9.5 hours in yesterday's dangerous conditions.
How are you feeling after yesterday, Mary?
Oh, fine.
How did you go?
Oh, well, I had to beach just up round Dark Rock with a lot of the other guys. It was just getting a bit hard.
Were you sore?
No, my left shoulder just a little bit.
How do you think you'll go today if you strike the same sort of weather?
I'll get closer to the beach this time.
Great. Good luck.
Thank you.
The leader is 36-year-old Max Abbott from Byron Bay. He's 3.5 minutes clear of the field. He says he feels pretty good but has a sore wrist. Conditions suited him yesterday, paddling into the chop. He came 4th last year but felt dead on the second day. He doesn't know how he'll shape up with some 200 kilometres left. He's being hard-pressed by a batch of young Turks, the Rat Pack, particularly world champion miler Chris Bond, the favourite for the event. He beat Chris by guile yesterday, but in anybody's language, there's a long, long way to go. Max started strongly but soon dropped off the pace and out of the race. As expected, Chris Bond, 26, took the lead, and as the field powered down the coast towards Sydney, he kept it and built on it. 19 had dropped out, 42 were left. Bond from the entrance was first up the beach at Bondi. He took the race in 26 hours, 21 minutes and 2 seconds, more than 20 minutes ahead of Bill Prestige from Wanda and Chris Gunn from Soldiers Beach. He was hardly puffing, but somewhat stunned.
A bit chafed, that's all. I feel quite fit, you know, but just a lot of skin off, you know.
You're glad you made it, though?
Yeah. I'll say I'm very glad I won. I made it.
Chris's wife, Jane, and 10-month-old son, Michael, whose pictures he has taped to his ski for inspiration, were there to congratulate him. Mary Corney and the oldest marathon survivor, Jim Ballard, the 55-year-old, were last of the finishers. They crossed the line together to a well-deserved round of applause. Mary, understandably tired but happy, and the old bloke...
Made it, mate. Made it, yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Good on you. 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, I could have thrown it in that chop round there.
But you made it, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Good on you. Good on you, mate.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Congratulations, Jimmy.
Thanks, Mark. Whew.
That about sums it up. It beats me just how they did it. Laurie Brennan reporting, Sports World.